Be blessed by the divine. What is Kundalini Yoga? What is Kundalini? Let's just take a few seconds to understand that. In our body, there is life. Everybody knows it. You know it. And what is this life? Where is it posited? How is it functioning? If you just think about it, you will easily understand that the body functions, or it is governed by the life force that is there inside. Because without the life force, the body loses its ability to have its functions, to manage its functions. And such a body is called the dead body, right? Now, this life force which is inside the body, where could it have come from? Let's just go back. Obviously, go back in time, this life force must have been come to us from our parents. We were, after all, born with the fusion of the life force of our father and mother. Now, where did my mother get her life force from? From her parents. And where did they get their life force from? And so on and so forth. If we go back in time, you will see easily that it must have come from the first human being. So the question is, how did the first human being, get his life force? Let's take the most accepted theory of evolution, which is the Darwin's theory. Now, you know that Darwin proposed that from animals, human beings evolved. So let's assume that that is how it has evolved. Let's ask ourselves a simple question. Where did the animal receive its life force from? That must have come from, another lesser form of life. And you go back all the way there, and you would probably end up reaching the first insect, which must have evolved from a plant. So the first sense organ or the life form, which is the plant, which is only the touch sense plant, to the five sense animal, life force has evolved. Let's ask ourselves, where did the plant receive its life force from? You know that it must have come from this earth. What is earth? We know the earth is comprised of the earth itself, or the land mass itself. And then there is water, there is fire, there is air, and there is this akash, or the energy particle. So we all know, as a well accepted scientific evolution theory, that all the other four forms of Panchabodhas, Prithvi, Teyu, Appu, Vayu, Akash, that is Prithvi, Teyu, Appu, Vayu, the four forms have evolved from Akash. That is, the energy particle has evolved into air, thick air, or fire, water, and land. Now, my friend, let me ask you a simple question. Where did the energy particle come into existence? How did that come into existence? Where could it come into existence from? If you just think about it, the whole universe is comprised of these energy particles, or akashic particles, or ether particles, as the scientists suggest. Now, if the entire universe is comprised of ether particles, clearly you can see that there must be some state from which these ether particles, these energy particles, must have come into existence. What is that state? Where could it be? Could it be within the energy particle, or could it be between the energy particle? Could it be surrounding the energy particle? Could it be all over the universe? Think about it for a moment. If you just take single energy particle, it is not stationary, it is a self-revolving kind of an energy particle. There is energy inherent within this energy particle. If you break that energy particle, there is huge amount of energy that comes out of it, which can perhaps destroy this entire planet. If you fuse two energy particles, it can power the entire city, nuclear energy, right? Now, that means there is enormous amount of energy inherent within each energy particle. Now think about it. What supplies this enormous amount of energy? What could supply? There must be a source which is mightiest of all sources. Therefore, my friend, the only logical answer that I can conclude here is that that energy particle must have evolved from the almighty state of superconscious power. Okay. And where could that be? It has to be within the energy particle, in between the energy particle. It must be all over and all over the universe. It must be everywhere. It must be pervasive. It must be all pervasive. It must be penetrative. It must be almighty. It must be super conscious. It must be inexhaustible. That's the only logical conclusion that I can think of. So from that energy particle, there is this Panchabhuta, the earth, and then there is a plant, and then this insect, and all the way up to the 5 sense life form, and then the human being. Now, if you take the human being, this life force has evolved into a Shakti or an energy which powers this body, and such a Shakti is there in all the life forms, but in human form it is called as the Kundalini Shakti. Okay, and that's all it is. Where could it be posited in? Think about it. Logically, where could it be? Human beings grow up to about 6 foot approximately, as an average across any human being. We grow up to about 6 foot and stop. That means there must have been a force that pulls this body away from the center of earth, because gravity pulls our weight down. Unless there is some other force that drags us outside of this orbit, we cannot grow tall. We will be growing into the earth like a potato tuber, for instance. That's not how we are growing. We are growing upwards. So this is the force that is actually pulling, this Kundalini Shakti or this life force pulls us up to the age of about 14, and we stop growing. After that, this life force helps us to evolve in the consciousness, in the brain, in the intelligence, in the intellectual capacity of the brain. We grow, and that is when the life force is ready to evolve from the Mooladhara. That means what? If you take the 3-dimensional center of the body, the height, the length, and the breadth, and the center of that particular point, the 3-dimensional center, is the Mooladhara chakra or the base chakra or the root chakra, which happens to be around the tailbone of the vertebra of the human being. And that is interestingly where the sexual gland is also posited in a human being. So this life force is centered around that, and that is from where the life force spreads throughout the body and energizing each and every cell, and it's purifying them, and it is constantly driving all the functions that is necessary for it. Now that is essentially what the Kundalini Shakti is all about. What is Kundalini Yoga? To be able to focus our mind at will, on our own volition, on the life force energy vibration at whichever point that we want, is Kundalini Yoga. Now that means what? I sounded probably like a very complicated scientist, but it's very simple really, my friend. Now there are 3 ways by which you can start to concentrate better on your life force. One, using this technique called as the pranayama technique. Okay. Second is using any tantra or the mantra technique. The third technique, which is what Sri Vethathiri Maharishi, our guru, has taught us, simplified and invented this simple technique, is by the touch of the guru, we can raise your Kundalini Shakti from Mooladhara to Agna Chakra. Agna Chakra is nothing else but the command center of your body, which is connected directly to your pituitary gland, which is posited in between your eyebrows. Okay. Now the pituitary gland, as you know, is what I would like to call the master gland of the body, which controls the autonomous functions of many of our other organs. So when our life force is raised by the touch of the guru, instantly, within a few seconds, you will find a gentle, feeble vibration. Sometimes, people feel it like a light, but sometimes people feel it like a small ant crawling over your Agna Chakra on your forehead, or some people feel it like a gentle breeze that is kind of flowing across your forehead. Either way, you'll just feel a gentle vibration there, and you will feel it very, very pleasant, and you can start concentrating on your own life force. So there is no tantra, there is no mantra, there is no kind of transcendental techniques, and there is no chakra and stuff like that you need to worry about. There's no mudra that you need to worry about. You just simply focus on your own life force, and as you start concentrating on your life force, you will start to improve your concentration power. Now the second step from Agna is essentially to bring it back to Muladhara. Okay, why do we need to do that? That's called the Shanti meditation, because it's like, as you start concentrating on your Agna chakra, you are able to retain more of your life force particles, the ether particles within your body, and you don't have that much of capacity. You need to convert the life force into the biomagnetic energy or the physical energy or the battery capacity. By focusing your mind back on Muladhara chakra or the base chakra, you will be able to convert automatically your excess life force energy into biomagnetic energy or the battery capacity. Now, the third step is to raise this life force or Kundalini Shakti from Agna chakra to Duriya chakra or Sahasradhara, or the crown chakra, which is on top of your head, which is connected below 4 inches below that Sahasradhara or crown chakra is your pineal gland, which I would like to call as the headmaster gland of the body, which is an endocrine gland. Now, as you focus your mind on your Duriya chakra, you are now ready to start realizing yourself. You now start to connect with your imprints, your genetic center, your past, your present, and your future, and start to look at your karmic imprints and start to override them. Your brain starts to function at the alpha level of frequency. From the Duriya chakra, the next level is to raise it to Duriyatita, which is basically taking your life force outside of your body, which is a very safe and simple technique which has to be done under the guidance of trained, certified teacher by Sri Vethathiri Maharishi. And there are about 65,000 such teachers around the world, and we are kind of training about 10,000 teachers now, practically every year or two. So you should find one very near your home, wherever you live around the world. Nowadays we have about 2,500 centers around the world, and these are very simple to learn, which in 2-3 weeks, maybe max 2-3 months, you should be able to reach the Duriyatita level. At the Duriyatita level, you will be able to start meditating at the theta level of frequency and the delta level of frequency. So there are several other chakras in the body, and at higher levels of training, higher levels of meditation, these chakras are also open with the touch of the Guru, and you will be able to start focusing on each of this chakra and start to gain great benefit by focusing your mind on your own life force and starting to improve your energy levels, your strength, your concentration, and connect with the purpose of your life and achieve the purpose of your life. May the Almighty Force shower you with good health, long life, enough wealth, peace, prosperity, fame, and wisdom. Be blessed by the Divine.